The Athlon Argos BTR Gen 2 1:8 by 24. I think a highly underrated, yet still quite unknown scope to most folks out there. I've really enjoyed this thing. Looking forward to showing you a view through this scope as well as a quick overview of the features and build style coming up next on GB Guns. In for a while. It's been in a couple of our magazine articles as well as several videos. And first things first, to go over the basics. 1:8 by 24 is how that is read, not 1:8 by 24 or any of that. I hear a lot of misunderstandings of it. 1:8 is your zoom range. 24 is the millimeter size of the objective lens up front here. Why is that important? Well, of course, the bigger number, higher power on your 1 to whatever, 1:8 in this case, but also the size of your exit pupil. That is the size of the image coming out of the back here for your eye to look at. If you've ever been behind a scope where it seemed like you had to constantly be moving forward and back, left, right, up, down, all that to try to get a picture, chances are the exit pupil was too small for you. General rule of thumb is 3 to 7 millimeters is what's comfortable for the human eye. So how do you know what your scope's going to produce? Well, another general rule of thumb, not an absolute, but a quick way to look at things. Divide the objective lens diameter, in this case 24 millimeter, by the maximum zoom, 8 millimeter. That gives us 3. So this is going to be on the tighter end when you get up to 8 power as far as how sensitive it is to where your eye is. Now there are some modern optics tricks that help mitigate that, but also keep in mind that when you get to that higher zoom range, chances are it's not a quick shot anyways, so you've got time to get behind it. Whether or not you want to deal with a scope that gets finicky at those higher levels, but keep one scope on a rifle, or just have a dedicated long range scope versus a short range scope, that's another personal preference thing. For me, this at 8 millimeter or at 8 power has not been too bad. It has a focus diopter back here to be able to bring the reticle into focus for you. It's a little stiff to start, but settles nicely. The zoom is a left to right throw, meaning that it starts on the left for 1 power, and this would be one where probably shooting hand comes up over the top to zoom it and get back down on the rifle. That's how I like it. There's nothing wrong with the inverse of it where a support hand comes up and brings you the other way. It's just a matter of tactics, training with your optics, and understanding it. The zoom ring itself is knurled and has a slight nub here to serve as a throw level without sticking out, well, very far at all. It's not going to snag on anything, so it's very minimalist, but still grippable. And the ring turns fairly easily. It's very soft and smooth. As far as it getting bumped out of position, it could be done, but then again, that's why that nub is so small. So I'm not too worried about it on the scope. I think the throw lever nub to zoom tension is an appropriate ratio for this scope. So well chosen there. As far as how far the throw has got to be, at 1 power, you're starting over here about 9 o'clock. And to get it all the way up to 8 power, you're bringing it over to about 3 o'clock. So it is roughly a 180-degree turn. Not that difficult to make. So happy with that. We have capped turrets for our adjustments, as they should be on a low-powered scope like this. Remember, if it's a low-powered scope, chances are you're going to be in tighter conditions, say heavy brush or trees, or doing training close range type stuff where there's a lot of chances to rub against foreign objects or gear. So having it capped keeps that safe. What does it look like underneath? Very, very fine numbering. We do have a small dot there to tell us where we're lining up to. It's nice and close to where things are. The clicks are kind of soft, but they're definitely there. I'm not too worried about it on a scope like this that is not meant to be a dial to shoot. You just want to zero it, cap it, and go back. If you want to change that, reset it to a 0, that can be done here. Our adjustments are about half an inch at 100 yards, which is fair and appropriate for something like this. Our vertical adjustments are going to be the same setup. Marker nice and close there to the number itself. So that's nicely done there. If you want to see the technical specs on these, check out Athlon Optics website. I'm not going to waste your time reading stuff to you that you can read somewhere else. Our illumination is not locked, but very stiff, but definitive clicks between each of those. I'm sure you can hear it. And for Spinal Tap fans, it goes up to 11 and gets nice and bright. Battery is a standard CR2032 that you can pick up anywhere. I like that there's knurling here on the edges to be able to open that battery compartment easily, and enough area to grab the actual rotation, because this is a little tough to get into. There's enough to grab onto, but you also have to hold your illumination knob to keep it from turning. It can turn either way, which is pretty cool. I like to keep it at 0 so that it's off. If it's low, just one click. If I want to go high, right there, I'm all the way at the top. So that is smartly done as well. And we do have a mark here indicating what level, or where to tell what level you're on if looking through the optic itself didn't do it for you. Overall, I'm pretty pleased with this thing. We'll show you next a look through the scope at some different targets of different lighting, so you can tell if that reticle is going to be bright enough for you or if that reticle shape is going to work for you. Let's head outside and take care of that now. Please pardon the plane and the birds. Here's the Athlon Argos BTR Gen 2 1:6x24. Now keep in mind, you're looking at an image on a screen recorded with a camera lens looking through lenses, but to get an idea for image quality and coloration, I am using a APS-C sensor, and I've got a variable lens. This is currently set at about 30 millimeters, but to give you an idea of coloration, you can see the camera obviously wants to pick up in there, but we're not getting much distortion. And as I bring it in all the way to 55 millimeters, now you can see our reticle. That fence post is about 8 yards away. The tree that the rifle is, the upper is aimed at, is 135 yards away. I'm going to turn the reticle brightness to max on a fresh CR2032 battery. And you can see we've got a nice horseshoe there to kind of bracket our targeting. As I zoom in, nice smooth fluid zoom on this, up to max. You can see that our BDC points are also illuminated, and a little more of your windage BDC, if you will. Sorry, that's coming through a little hazy. Not sure what causes that. I can assure you it is more clear than that with the naked eye, but gives you an idea of what max illumination looks like, at least on a spring day in Oregon against a dark subject. I like this horseshoe reticle and a low-powered variable optic like this because it's great to bracket and kind of get you on target. Camera wants to focus on something other than our subject there. That is one of the challenges of filming this. Nice fluid adjustments. There's our Athlon Argos BTR Gen 2, turning the illumination back off and try to bring the rifle in for you, or the zoom, so you can see that black reticle on a dark subject. It's thick enough to still pop and be easily seen. Your BDC points are rather fine, but I think still come through rather clearly. I hope this gives you a better idea of the Athlon Argos BTR Gen 2 1:8x24. I've been really pleased with this thing. Love the reticle for shooting at round targets, having that horseshoe to kind of bring me in. So impressed with this thing, especially it's very lightweight and rather short compared to some of the others out there, so it's great on your smaller, lighter guns. But I was so impressed with it that I took the chances and ordered one of Athlon's bigger scopes. Look for tabletop and through the scope on that coming soon. Haven't taken it out to the range yet, but when I visited Athlon's booth at SHOT Show a year or two back, I was really impressed with the glass they were using, and find these to be kind of an underrated, not talked about enough gem. Hope you appreciate this. Let me know what your thoughts are, and we'll see you in the next video. Thanks for watching.